if you have been following the trend of events, and Gambia has been the center of global attention in the past 1 week.
President Buhari joins other ECOWAS leaders on a preemptive mission to the Gambia.
The question you ask yourself, where is the Minister of Petroleum, the GMD, the Auditor General, the Minister of Finance, the Governor of Central Bank, all the anti-corruption agencies?
Senate investigates alleged misappropriation of $3.4 billion by NNPC and the NPDC. Federal government high-powered delegation visits Madagali, commiserates with victims, and presents relief materials. Welcome to this edition of NTA Network News with me, Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. High-level talks are ongoing in Banjul, the capital of the Gambia, towards finding lasting solutions to the political impasse in the country following the rejection of the December 1st presidential election results by President Yahya Jammeh. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports that President Muhammadu Buhari, alongside other ECOWAS leaders, are in Banjul to try to persuade President Jammeh to toe the line of peace by accepting defeat and handing over power to his opponent in the presidential election, Adama Barrow. Reports from Banjul indicate that President Jammeh is receptive to the council of the ECOWAS leaders. They include Ellen Johnson Sirleaf of Liberia, Sierra Leone's Enes Bai Koroma, and Ghana's John Mahama. Reports just reaching us say that the ECOWAS leaders are right now briefing President Jammeh. Sierra Leone leader Enes Bai Koroma stated that ECOWAS will hold an emergency summit in Abuja on Saturday. He told State House correspondent Adam Musambo that is when the ECOWAS leaders are expected to once again or formally announce the outcome of their engagement with both President Jammeh and his opponent, Adama Barrow. To further discuss the Gambian issue, I'm being joined in the studio by the former Nigeria's permanent secretary to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Bulus Lolo. Your Excellency, welcome to our studio.
Thank you, Mohammed.
It appears there are positive signals coming out of the Gambia now that our correspondent just told us that the ECOWAS leaders are meeting with President Jammeh.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, I agree that the signs are very positive, given that the ECOWAS sub-region has taken leadership with Nigeria at its vanguard. Very demonstrable leadership here being shown by President Muhammadu Buhari. But it is too soon to call anything about the Gambian situation, given the character and nature of the president in question. Yahya Jammeh, if you study him closely, you would discover that here is a person who can change his colors like a chameleon. Otherwise, he would not have rejected a result that he accepted, a process that was adjudged to be free and fair, and a process too that demonstrated the will and the wish of the Gambian people. So the engagement by ECOWAS with the stakeholders in the Gambia is the right step in the right direction. I will quickly add that, as we all know, the United Nations Security Council has met over the Gambia at the request of Senegal, and only yesterday the African Union Peace and Security Council also met and decided that they will send a high-powered delegation that will comprise a representative from each of the 5 economic blocs on the continent. So it is something that we must remain engaged, we must remain vigilant, and it will be in the supreme interest of Yahya Jammeh to listen to good counsel of his colleagues. Otherwise, I would fear that the situation could unravel and unravel negatively.
What can possibly happen if he refuses to hand over?
Well, history is a good teacher, we must remember. Laurent Gbagbo was once a strong man in Cote d'Ivoire, and Laurent Gbagbo never thought that he will end up where he is today. Charles Taylor before him was also a strong man in Liberia. We know where he is. I hope that Jammeh will not dig his heel under the false illusion that he is the strongman of the Gambia as he has been for the past 22 years. There are going and will surely be very dire consequences if he does not quit the stage.
He has 60 days to hand over power by the Gambian constitution.
Right.
But he is right now, that is President Jammeh is right now talking about challenging the election results in the Gambian court.
Yeah.
What do you see? What scenario can you possibly paint in this situation? Do you see the possibility of him being able to go the whole hog?
A sight of me leads me to hope that the mediation embarked upon by President Buhari and his colleagues may well yield desired results. Should that be the case, we'll all celebrate. But like I said, he does not have, he's run out of room to maneuver. Were he to go and challenge the result, he will have to challenge it with credible evidence. I don't think he has such evidence. He said, if one read the report about the comment that was attributed to him, that one of the reasons he's annulling the result is because the vote was interfered by foreign elements. Who are the foreign elements in this case? So I believe that the mediation should remain robust, should remain very sustained, and indeed they should lay it on the table for him, the consequences that he will face, either to work out peacefully, or he will be shown that any leader who wants to defy the will of the people, in the end, will have a price to pay.
As a career diplomat, what lessons would you say there are for other African leaders, given the wind of democratic change blowing across the African continent?
To allow democracy to really gain a strong foot in Africa, it is in our interest that the will of the people, as determined by them, in line with laid down constitutional provisions of each country, should prevail. The era of forming and believing that you can create a dynasty is over. Legitimacy should become our hallmark. And I believe this is what President Buhari brings to the process. We had 16 years of one-party ruling in Nigeria. We had 4 transitions during that period, even though within the same party. Now we are into a regime that was in opposition, but now is holding the reins in the country. It only means that, as we can draw from Ghana, that the electorate over time will become sophisticated and demand of its leaders that unless they deliver every 4 or whatever number of years the Constitution provides, they will tell them to quit.
You mentioned Ghana, and it's interesting the Ghanaian leader is among the ECOWAS delegation. What do you think he will be telling President Jammeh?
I don't know what President Mahama will be telling Jammeh, but he will ask him to look at him as an example. He had a chance to rule his country out of millions, and out of that, he was able to perform a task. But when the people said he was no more needed, he accepted and respected their wish. Jammeh should do the same.
Ambassador Bruce Lolo, former Permanent Secretary, Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Senate plenary on Tuesday mandated the Joint Committees on Petroleum Upstream, Downstream, and that of Finance to investigate allegations of misappropriation of $3.4 billion by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, and the Nigerian Petroleum Development Corporation, NPDC. National Assembly correspondent Waziri Zayanu has details.
Drawing inspiration from Order 42 and 52 of the Standing Rules, Senator Dino Melaye raised a point of order alleging unlawful non-remittance of proceeds, taxes and royalties to the federal government by the NNPC and NPDC from 2013 to date.
The way and manner the 2 agencies of government have been carrying out crude oil lifting have not been transparent.
we have been told by NNPC that NNPC cannot even do anything as regards OML 60, 61, 62, and 63 because the issue in question is in court.
I think it's high time for this chamber, the Senate, to take the bull by the horn by creating an ad hoc that will look in depth into the activities of NNPC.
These are billions of dollars at a time when our nation is under economic recession.
The question you ask yourself, where is the Minister of Petroleum, the GMD, the Auditor General, the Minister of Finance, the Governor of Central Bank, all the anti-corruption agencies to allow this kind of things to continue?
The conference committee report on the Northeast Development Commission presented by Senate Leader Ali Ndume was approved by the plenary, but not without slight hitches.
Even in the Niger Delta Development Commission, there are some states outside South-South, which were included, and how many we agreed. I don't see any reason why we should remove Kano and Plateau State.
I believe the idea of Northeast Development Commission, much as we welcome it, this state suffered Boko Haram more than most of the states in the Northeast.
I beg my distinguished colleagues, let us adopt this report. The bill is there. If the bill is later to be amended to include Kano or Imo or now, we can. What we have here is to adopt or to reject.
Senator Ahmed Sani's report on the Committee on Marine Transport on the 2016 budget was also passed. So was the report on the 2016 budget on Nigerian Customs Services presented by Senator Hope Uzodimma.
The committee considered the status of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, as a safety agency playing strategic role in combating piracy and the Gulf of Guinea.
We observed also that Nigerian Customs Service suspended, contrary to Pre-Shipment Act, the pre-shipment inspection.
From the National Assembly, Ziri Zayano, NTA News.
Still at the National Assembly, as President Muhammadu Buhari prepares to present the 2017 budget estimates on Wednesday to the joint session of the National Assembly, members of the House of Representatives commenced consideration of the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. Members at Tuesday's plenary also resolved to investigate the joint venture agreement between the NTA and the StarTimes Communications of China. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Uko has details.
The 2017 and 2019 MTEF is predicated on 2.2 million barrels of crude oil per day and $42.50 per barrel. Some members stressed the need for quick passage before the consideration of the 2017 budget, but expressed concern over fluctuation in the global price of crude oil in the past 5 years.
Only on effective combination of strong fiscal and monetary tools by government, increasing the tax base in the country, curtailing militancy in the Niger Delta, injecting back looted funds,
that we should give this document a chance. We should not be seen as stumbling blocks to progress.
Has always been an official rate and parallel market rate. Therefore, to begin to say that we don't know where we are coming from, we know where we're coming from.
The first assumption here is that there is going to be a daily production of 2.2 million barrels on a daily basis. Are these assumptions very correct assumptions? Have we been able to achieve, even probably for the last 5 years, this level of production?
Long is the MTEF and FSP. Their assumptions are good and they are not overrated. 2.2 million barrels per day is not overrated.
The House resolved to investigate the joint venture agreement between NTA and StarTimes Communication Network of China to ensure that Nigeria's interest was adequately protected. The motion was moved by Representative Tajuddin Yusuf from Kogi State and Representative Chukwemeka Zubogo from Anambra State.
What this motion seeks to do is to make sure Nigeria and Nigerians are not shortchanged.
Members received and considered 126.4 billion naira 2016 budget of the Federal Inland Revenue Services presented by each committee on finance and the report of the committee on the 2016 Hajj by Representative Salami Abdullahi from Sokoto State. The House adopted a motion to admit President Muhammadu Buhari into the chamber on Wednesday to present the 2017 budget. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The federal government has sent a high-powered delegation to commiserate with the victims of Madagali in Adamawa State over the twin bomb blasts which occurred in the area recently. The people were also presented with relief materials to cushion the effect of the attacks. Rayanu Bala reports.
The delegation, led by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Policy Development and Analysis, Ibrahim Hassan Bapetel, expressed federal government's sympathy over the blast, which claimed many lives. He described the incident as the handiwork of remnants of the insurgents, saying that President Muhammadu Buhari is committed to flushing them out. Ibrahim Bapetel said government will continue to support them and the process of rehabilitation, reconstruction and resettlement is on course to enable them have some sense of belonging. The delegation was also at the Michika General Hospital to sympathize with the casualties and presented drugs to cater for their medical needs.
I will inform the president and see the need of where these people need more assistance, especially in terms of security, in terms of those victims, and see how we assist them. We realize most of them that they are not from this town. Therefore, we have now given 10,000 to each of the victims of the bomb blast for him to assist them in feeding until the next assistance that will come from NEMA.
In Yola, Rayanu Bala, NTA News.
Still in Adamawa State, the governor, Muhammad Umar Jibrila, has also visited Madagali to sympathize with the people over the twin blasts. Again, Rayanu Bala has the report.
Governor Muhammad Umar Jibrila asked them to take the incident as an act of God and remain prayerful. He said, government is determined to further safeguard their lives through provision of adequate security and reiterated the need for them to be security conscious at all times. Community leaders in Madagali thanked the governor for the show of concern and support to them. Muhammad Jibrila was also at the General Hospital Michika to commiserate with the injured and prayed for their quick recovery.
And the state government is doing its best to make sure that all the personnel are okay in terms of medication and so on.
In Yola, Rayanu Bala, NTA News.
Towards breaking the cycle of violence and providing the right moral standing that defeats terrorism in the long run in Nigeria, key stakeholders in the criminal justice system are involved in a technical consultation on global best practices in the rehabilitation, reintegration, and aftercare of violent extremist offenders. Joseph Johnson reports that the event is organized by the Office of the National Security Advisor in collaboration with other donor agencies.
Nigeria continues to face profound terrorism challenges as Boko Haram has evolved from a threat which affected primarily Nigeria to a transnational terrorism challenge. The country also grapples with matters related to ensuring that there is a strategy in place towards former members of Boko Haram. In order to respond to this challenge, this consultation meeting is set to assess Nigeria's measure to counter terrorist and violent extremism.
I think you have a fascinating, but I think quite tough challenge before you to think through how you address this balance between prosecution and rehabilitation. All I can do is reiterate to you that your partners in the European Union are ready to work with you and work closely with you as you face that challenge.
National Security Advisor Major General Mongonu, retired, was represented at the meeting.
We are resolved to win the fight against terrorism through our core national values.
The importance the federal government places on terrorism, as shown by the participation of many relevant agencies, is a testament to Nigeria's commitment to fighting the ongoing threat posed by the Boko Haram. It is expected that the outcome of the meeting will be reflected in the high-level segment. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
The Defense Headquarters has alerted the public of another antique employed by the Boko Haram terrorists who escaped from the Sambisa forest. A statement by the Acting Director, Defense Information, Brigadier General Rabi Abubakar, indicates that some fleeing Boko Haram terrorists now disguise as menial workers with a view to organizing terrorist attacks against innocent citizens. The Defense Headquarters therefore advises citizens to be on the alert and be wary of the tricks of the terrorists, especially strange persons who come in search of menial jobs in the communities. The Ministry of Interior says it is committed to the maintenance of peace and security in the country, leveraging on the successes recorded by the Nigerian military on Boko Haram insurgency to Niger Delta restiveness, including cattle rustling and kidnappings. Interior Minister General Abdurrahman Dambazo stated this at a seminar on public safety and security by the Africa Center for Strategic Studies, an academic institution under the U.S. Defense Department.
Of collaboration between the Africa Center for Strategic Studies and the UN's 71st Conference on Intercollaboration and Cooperation is based on President Obama's intervention to help African countries overcome their security challenges.
It is the responsibility of this ministry to win the peace. And without winning the peace, all the IDPs we have, the refugees we have in the neighboring countries cannot return to their communities.
Kate North is the Director, Africa Center for Strategic Studies.
We're here to facilitate a dialogue across the service chiefs and the directors of the ministry so that they can discuss and examine some case studies from other parts of the world around the themes of interagency collaboration and cooperation.
Every person that I am privileged to work with here in our consulate in Lagos and our embassy in Abuja and all around your country, Nigeria is fundamentally important for the future of the world.
Participants were drawn across agencies under Ministry of Interior. The agencies is mandated to domesticate the strategies to people of Nigeria. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris has inaugurated a 27-member implementation committee on curtailment of cattle rustling in Nigeria with a directive on them to come up with strategies and policies that will end the menace in the country. Edino Justice has details.
The setting up of this committee was a fallout of the meeting of the IGP with all the stakeholders in the livestock sector held in September this year. Ibrahim Idris said cattle rustling has become a concern, affecting not only the number of animals involved, but also the crime index and associated deaths. He therefore charged them to design an approach that will strengthen synergy between policy formulators and security agencies.
I implore you to look at all avenues and advise us as law enforcement, especially in areas of enforcement of the laws. I believe with a proper coordination and synergy between us, the issue of cattle rustling will be in the past.
Members of the Implementation Committee on Containment of Cattle Rustling in Nigeria pledged their commitment to contributing ideas to tackle the menace.
This inauguration is a bold statement on the police-community partnership and collaboration for enhancement of community policing in Nigeria.
Inspector General, sir, we do not have the gun, but we have the mind to support you, and we will support you.
Members of the committee are drawn from professional associations, trade unions, federal and state livestock departments, the ECOWAS Commission, as well as the police. Edino Justice, NTA News.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir David Lawal, has restated President Muhammadu Buhari's determination to take Nigeria out of recession in 2017 by revamping the economy. He stated this when he received a delegation of the Methodist Church of Nigeria, Archdiocese of Abuja, led by the Archbishop, the Most Reverend Joseph Oche Job. The SGF stressed that the foundation for a diversified economy has already been laid, and the 2017 budget will further strengthen the economy. He also assured that the Buhari administration is committed to improving national security and fighting corruption. The leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has commiserated with the people and the government of Akwa Ibom State on the tragedy that took place inside the Renas Bible Church International, Uyo, at the weekend, which led to the death of scores of worshippers. CAN, in a statement, lamented the disaster and charged every Christian to identify with the victims through prayers, gifts, and condolence visits. The association appreciated God for the life of Governor Udom Emmanuel, who narrowly escaped the tragedy, and commended his prompt intervention to investigate the sad and unfortunate incident. Khan called on the Nigerian Society of Engineers and other relevant bodies to rise up to the menace of building collapse with buildings with substandard materials in Nigeria. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Using affordable housing as a tool to fight corruption in Nigeria. That's when we return after this break. Don't go away.
That importing consumables and domestic products kill local manufacturing and negatively affect the growth of the economy. That some imported products are dangerous to your health. That building factories can generate massive employment and grow the economy. Buying locally made products and services means investing back in the economy. Thousands of Nigerians are innovative and can take Nigeria to the next level. Growing the economy starts with you and I. Raise the standard. Grow the economy. Buy made in Nigeria.
Hello, dear. You've got the first signs of a sore throat.
Yes, and I'm afraid it could be signs of a sore throat.
Don't you worry. Just act immediately, but not with non-medicated throat sweets. Take an expert product. Take Strepsils. Look at what it does to sore throat germs compared to a throat sweet. Strepsils not only stops the germs from multiplying, it even kills them.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, sore throat. Stop a sore throat early. Take Strepsils.
Breaking the ice, President Buhari leads 3 other West African leaders in talks to persuade Gambian President Jammeh to hand over power.
Season's greetings from FCMB, My Bank and I.
Hello? Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6, carry out everything on that list, starting now. Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliampere battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge. Gioni M6, always in power.
Would you like some water? It's cold, especially for you.
Which era are you living in? We have a fridge.
When everything else in your house is from the present, then why are your toilet cleaning methods from the past? Harpic, all-in-one for you. Compared to other toilet cleaners, Harpic removes top stains, kills all germs, and removes bad odors for a shining, clean, and fresh toilet.
Wow.
You should also take the Harpic
all-in-one challenge.
It's truck month at Ford, and we've got a Ranger just for you, Vincent. Here's the Workhorse 2.5 petrol single cab with free Ford Protect, a 4-year, 120,000-kilometer service plan. Or the 2.5 petrol-based double cab with 800mm water wading capability. Available in manual transmission and with free Ford Protect. So while stocks last, visit Coscharis Motors today. Because, wait for it, thanks Vincent, we've got a tough Ford Ranger just for you.
The Future Assured project and its components Get Involved, initiated by the wife of the President, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is not relenting in championing the cause of Nigerian women and children. Its provision of free medical screening, educational support, and the fight against malnutrition, especially in the Northeast, has indeed informed international recognition, partnerships and awards.
We are very grateful and appreciative for your wonderful gesture you have accorded to us.
With future assured, Nigerian women and children are assured of a bright future.
Future is assured when we join hands to promote the health of our women and children. Get involved.
Get involved and support the Future Assured initiative. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
Nigeria joins the rest of the world in going digital. This means Nigeria is moving from analog terrestrial TV broadcasting to digital. Now, digital broadcasting gives you clearer pictures, crystal clear sound, and a chance for more channels and more shows to watch. Digital TV is a whole new experience for you and a rich harvest of digital development for the nation. Come aboard, Nigeria going digital.
Coming to Abuja soon.
Thank you for remaining with NTA Network News. Provision of affordable housing is one of the tools the present administration is using to fight corruption in the country. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyo-Ita, stated this after a meeting with Council of Permanent Secretaries in Abuja. Adebola Brooksland Sunday reports.
Records puts housing deficit in Nigeria at about 17 million. To bridge this gap, especially as it affects civil servants, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation initiated the Federal Integrated Staff Housing Program, FISH. The permanent secretaries in all ministries, departments and agencies, led by the head of the Civil Service, proceeded to the venue of the meeting between estate developers and civil servants to ensure an each-free exercise.
Corruption is evil and there is no excuse whatsoever for it. But now that civil servants know that they have a government under His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari that is sympathetic to their housing needs, they will do all in their power to live up to the expectations of Mr. President.
Kind of initiative is coming up at this very present time in our national development, and it shows the commitment of Mr. President.
Right now, civil servants can look up to something and say, yes, indeed, there's a change.
Knowing fully well that it may be difficult for workers to pay, towards this end, government has put in place a system to make the acquisition of the homes without difficulty.
The mortgage bank had agreed that within 48 hours the loan will be approved and disbursed. The developer will be paid this money and the workers will have their keys.
Yes, we are satisfied, but at that, we are still appealing to the Minister of FCT to graciously make massive land available for this program.
The FISH program has been designed in such a way that civil servants own their homes with ease. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
Nigeria and South Africa have considered and endorsed a two-day action plan for the implementation of the 2013 Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in the fields of geology, mining, mineral processing, and metallurgy. Minister of Mines and Steel Development Kayode Fayemi and his counterpart from South Africa, Mosebenzi Zwane, agreed on the implementation plan, which took place at a meeting in Abuja. Emmanuel Ayimero has details.
Agriculture, energy and mining for economic development remain a priority to Nigeria and South Africa when President Jacob Zuma visited Nigeria in March this year. To prepare Nigeria to become a full-fledged mining nation, Mines and Steel Development Minister Kayode Fayemi, who outlined the 10 areas of cooperation in the Memorandum of Understanding, said the choice of partnership with South Africa is because of her vast experience in mineral resources development, which Nigeria wants to tap into.
We are familiar with our roadmap. We want to develop our mineral sector to the point that we're not just seen as a minerals-rich country, but we're seen as a mining nation.
Our collaboration is bound to be exemplary, and that collaboration between African states is possible.
The two-year action plan endorsed by both ministers is to begin from January 2017 to December 2018. In Abuja, Emmanuel Ayimero, NTA News.
Investors in the livestock industry have stressed the need for Nigeria to review and redefine her policy on livestock subsector of the economy. This is the view of some Austrian and Nigerian investors at a seminar on sustainable agricultural, forestry and risk management holding in Abuja. Musa Baba Aliyu has more.
A 2011 official document of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture indicated that Nigeria was endowed with an estimated 19.5 million cattle, 72.5 million goats, 41.3 million sheep, 7.1 million pigs, 28,000 camels, and 974,000 donkeys. In spite of this, the country is yet to have a sustainable growth in terms of money generation as well as meat, milk, and other dairy production from her large animal population. The Australian investors, alongside their Nigerian counterparts, are promoting the adoption of satellite database system that will track and monitor animal movement.
Farms registry, animal registry, human registry, forest registry, they are databases which they are a must. It's something that otherwise your government cannot face up and cannot subsidize, cannot support the farm.
It enables you also to know how much meat you can produce in a country and consequently what the gap is.
In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Plateau State has been chosen to commence implementation of the Social Safety Register for Cash Transfer component of the Federal Government Social Investment Program, SIP. Ekemeren Ladoja reports that the training community-based targeting team and enumerators organized by the National Social Safety Net Coordinating Office, NASCO, kicked off in Jos.
The Social Investment Program ultimately aims at tackling poverty at the grassroots. The cash transfer component of the program involves direct cash transfers of 5,000 naira monthly to the poor, vulnerable households across the country. Plateau, having met the criteria of appointing a focal person to coordinate the program as well as provide an enabling platform for effective implementation, was chosen as the first among the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory to begin the implementation.
In the interim, we are taking 30% of all the local government areas and in any participating state across the country. Once we do that, we now go into all the communities to enumerate, to identify the poor household, enumerate all of them. Once we are done with that, we go to the next level of engaging 50%.
The Plateau State Governor, who was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Rufus Bature, described the takeoff of the program as historic for the state, adding that the first phase will take place in 6 local government areas based on World Bank poverty ranking. The community-based targeting teams are drawn from the 17 local government areas of the state and are being trained on how to gather data from the grassroots to ensure a successful implementation of the program. In Jos, Ekemeren Ladoja, NTA News.
Moody's Investor Service, an international economic and financial rating agency, has endorsed various policies deployed by the Buhari administration in managing the economy to exit the prevailing economic recession. The agency, in an official statement over the weekend, affirmed that the BI long-term issuer rating of Nigeria's government has a stable outlook, going by the robust medium-term growth prospects despite the challenging environment. The federal government balance sheet is also rated to remain strong and compare favorably with peers, with remaining well below 20% of GDP over the coming years against 55% median for BI-rated peers. Moody also commends the Buhari administration for making significant gains in terms of governance, transparency in the oil sector, rising effectiveness of operations at the refineries and improved availability of data. The agency projects that in 2017 and 2018, Nigeria's balance of payments will be in surplus and foreign exchange will grow. Demola in our Lagos Network Center is standing by with more reports on NT Network News. Over to you, Demola.
Thank you, Kudu. Good evening and warm welcome to Lagos. Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, says the federal government is committed to enhancing motoring experience on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and major highways across the country. The minister stated this while inspecting the first phase of maintenance works done on the Long Bridge along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, which has been reopened to traffic. Musa Toliat completes the report.
Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, said the reopening of the long bridge along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway ahead of the December 31st deadline given to contractors handling the maintenance works is a testimony that the federal government is sensitive to the plight of the motoring public that ply the axis.
This will improve the ease of doing business, the cost of doing business, the cost of food, the cost of so many other things that we depend on. And we hope that as we go on, this is the way to use our highways to rebuild our economy, grow our economy out of the recession.
Mr. Fashola assured Nigerians that the next phase of works on the 4,500-meter bridge, which include replacement of 88 expansion joints on both sides of the long bridge and other maintenance activities, will not hamper free flow of traffic.
We know that we are in a results-driven business. Efforts count for a lot, but results define it. This is a result. As the bridge is opened to traffic, you will see that your sacrifice was well worth it. You will have a better motoring experience, even as work continues.
The minister, however, hinted that there will be several diversions after the Yuletide seasons on highways across the country where reconstruction works are ongoing. He therefore solicited the cooperation of motorists to abide by measures which will be put in place to regulate traffic during the period. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, has unveiled its latest innovation and measures to standardize operations of computer-based test CBT centers across the country. This is to enable the centers function effectively as partners of the board in its conduct of the University and Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME computer-based test. Jane Ojukwu was at a forum in Lagos organized by JAM for proprietors of the CBT centers.
The Forum on Contemporary Issues of Standardization, Registration and New Payment Modes was organized to acquaint CBT center proprietors with the new requirements and partnership obligations expected of them. They include provision of cabled local area network, CCTV network for live recording of in and around the center, and minimum of 5 technical staff, among others. The registrar of JAM, Professor Ishak Oloyede, stated that the accreditation process is starting immediately, and those who fail to meet the requirement will not be accredited.
Whatever is going on in our examination halls can be monitored from anywhere in the world. A CBT center should have 250 systems with 10% backup.
He warned those who extort money from candidates to desist, as registration fees for the UTME CBT remain 5,500 naira. Some of the CBT operators speak on the development.
CBT centers should really embrace these welcome innovations, and of course, we really need that this time.
It's about the funding, only challenge that we have.
The JAM partnership with private CBT operators is to ensure that JAM provides credible partners in the CBT centers to deliver the examination. In Lagos, Jane Ojukwu, NTA News.
You're still on to NTA Network News, coming to you live from Lagos. We now take a break for some messages, after which the news continues from Abuja. Stay with us.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
Household of God International Ministries presents Grace 2016, featuring the Special Caris Award recipient, Mrs. Efunjoke Koka. Special guest of honor, His Excellency, Mr. Akinwumi Ambodi. Chairman, Brigadier General Mobolaji Johnson, retired. And your host, Reverend Chris Okotie. Date, Sunday, December 18th, 2016. Time, 5:30 p.m. Venue, the Household of God Church of Kudirat Abiola Way, Oregun, Ikeja, Lagos. Other recipients include Strong Tower Mission, Pacheli School for the Blind and Partially Sighted, Sunshine Foundation, and Spinal Cord Injuries Association of Nigeria. Grace 2016. Be there.
My daughter, you are a star. May you be the secret ingredients that makes a happy home.
Maggi Star, made from natural soybeans and other carefully selected ingredients, prepared in a way only Maggi knows. That's why for generations, Maggi Star has been the secret that brings out the rich taste and aroma in local soups. With Maggi, every woman is a star.
Nestle, good food, good life. Germs, oil, and dirt cause blemishes and uneven skin tone. You need Dettol Even Tone. It removes 99.9% of germs and is formulated to remove excess oil and dirt, helping to reduce blemishes. Dettol Mom. She only trusts Dettol Antiseptic Liquid to kill 100 illness-causing germs, and it's recommended for cuts and scrapes. Worry less and love more. Don't just be any mom, be a Dettol mom. Dettol, be 100% sure.
Last drop bottle of Sprite. And there it is. And there. And there. That sudden burst of intense refreshment that just keeps coming. Good job, Sprite.
Hello? Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6, carry out everything on that list, starting now. Get to the door. Congratulations, you have passed the test. Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliampere battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge. Gioni M6, always in power.
Thank you for remaining with NTA Network News. Nigeria is to issue 95 billion naira bonds on December the 14th. These and trading activities on the Nigeria Stock Exchange with Chazala Mikie on Business News.
Good evening and welcome to Business News. Nigeria plans to raise 20 billion naira by March next year to help fund renewable energy projects. This is the first issuance of green bonds in Nigeria. Green bond is a tax-exempt bond issued for development. Eight ships laden with goods are expected to arrive Lagos before December 24. And finally, activities on the Nigerian Stock Exchange resumed on a positive note today after the public holiday. Here are the numbers. That's the package at this time. I'm Chiazala Meki. Network News continues. Please stay with us.
Thank you, Chazlam. Access to affordable housing remains a major concern of many civil servants across the country. However, funding remains a major challenge. In a bid to reduce that stress, SunTrust Bank Nigeria Limited is partnering with the federal government that approved a 13 billion naira mortgage loan in providing solutions that will allow civil servants more access to affordable homes. Joy Uzo has the report.
Nigeria's housing deficit is estimated at over 17 million. In reducing the number, the federal government Staff Housing Loan Board 4 years ago came up with over 5,000 housing units worth over 40 billion naira. But lack of budgetary allocation to acquire the homes was a challenge. The Nigeria Mortgage Refinancing Company, set up 2 years ago, stepped in to find a lasting solution, and SunTrust Bank Nigeria Limited is partnering to provide liquidity and other structural management, including finance.
We've remained
committed to this cause. We've been very faithful, and that is why certainly we were actually chosen by both the federal government staff housing loans, but the Nigerian Mortgage Financing Company and the federal government to ensure that we put this in together and provide this solution for the generality of the masses, and particularly for the civil servants.
One other thing that we've asked for is to have a mortgage law that allows land to come in and titles to be easy to achieve.
The 13 billion naira being offered for the public servants is our active loans.
Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun, at the launch of the mortgage refinancing scheme, said government would start the first batch with 5,635 beneficiaries.
I'd like to take this opportunity to invite willing investors to explore the emerging investment opportunities in our housing sector.
It is expected that as government and the private sector partner, the dreams of many civil servants in owning a home will become a reality. In Abuja, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
To some politics now, the People's Democratic Party has urged its members to remain resolute and calm as it prepares to seek legal redress over what it calls infractions related to the legislative rerun elections in Rivers State. Chairman of the PDP Caretaker Committee, Senator Ahmed Magarfi, stated this at the World Press Conference in Abuja. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Benenkodo reports.
The event started with a minute's silence in honor of those who lost their lives during the Rivers election. The Caretaker Committee condemned the violent tendencies manifesting in Nigeria's election, calling for thorough investigation into what happened in Rivers State.
We are confident that we will have won all the seats contested, but for the schemes of enemies of democracy. The PDP, as law-abiding party, will contest all outstanding issues in the tribunal and the court. We have extreme regard for the judiciary and believe that the court will do justice to all on all the issues.
Reacting to the PDP allegations, the Independent National Electoral Commission said it is uncharitable to insinuate that INEC worked with anybody to manipulate the Rivers rerun election. The Commission's Deputy Director of Publicity, Nick Dazan, said INEC had strained itself to provide a level playing field, working with the security agencies. Unfortunately, some other stakeholders in that state were consciously using hoodlums, subverting the process. This prevented the Commission to deploy as previously scheduled. End of quote. In another development, the African Democratic Congress is marking its 10 years of registration as a party with the inauguration of a roundtable strategy. It is to create awareness among members of matters of national interest.
Handshake. It's our duty as ADC to sell the handshake with warmth to Nigerian people.
The ADC was registered in 2006. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Bernunkudu, NTA News.
Away from politics, Jigawa State Governor Muhammad Badaru Abubakar has reiterated the need for Nigerians to embrace agriculture as an alternative to petroleum. He gave the advice at a grand reception organized in his honor by the Jigawa State Northwest Development Association in Gumal, Jigawa State. Saliu Aminu reports.
Governor Muhammad Badar Abubakar said it is time for Nigerians to embrace agriculture as an alternative to oil for the development of the country. He reiterated the commitment of his administration to support agriculture in view of the current economic challenges. The governor charged people of the state to embrace policies and programs introduced by government to boost agriculture in the state. Chairman of the association, which honored the governor, Alhaji Babandi Saleh, said the association was established to bring about socio-economic development of Jigawa Northwest Senatorial Zone.
Together, when we join these forces, like this particular association, if it joins its sister part in Dutse, it joins its sister part in Hadeja. Therefore, when these three associations sit together, they can decide and direct any government in power, not only this particular government, any government that will come.
Highlight of the occasion was the presentation of award to the governor and 50 illustrious sons of the area for their contribution to the development of Jigawa State and the country. Among those honored are Jigawa APC State Chairman, Majority Leader of the State House of Assembly, and the Executive Director of Training and Capacity Building of the MTA, Alhaji Ibrahim Damisa. The Ghana Northwest Development Association was established recently to foster unity, understanding, and honor those contribute to the development of the area. From Duse, Salis Aminu, NTA News.
Time now for more messages. The news continues shortly.
Rights violation and awareness. The way forward is the focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week as experts examine best practices for the protection of human dignity. NTA Tuesday Live, educative, informative, and incisive. Don't be told. Join us.
It's that time of the year when we appreciate all those that meant so much to us. Our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, business, and above all,